Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to today's presentation. Today we are from Group 1 will discuss about absolute poverty. Before we start the discussion, I would like to introduce our group members. They are Muhammad Fikar, Siti Karisma Amalia, and me, myself, Unggul Setiawati. For the first discussion, we will discuss about the definition of absolute poverty. What is the definition of absolute poverty? The definition of absolute poverty is a condition in which a person or family owns income but not sufficient to fulfill daily minimum needs efficiently. Absolute poverty occurs when a person or family does not have access to basic needs such as food, clean water, clothing, decent housing, and health services. And next, we will discuss about the cause of absolute poverty, which will be conveyed by Siti Karisma Amalia.
Causes of absolute poverty. 1. Access to needs that are inadequate. Simple path, it's difficult to find food, water, or residence. This uniquely affects those living in rural areas. They live a long way from civilization, so facing a greater challenge to meet their basic needs. And 2. Lack of job availability. In developed countries, it has largely prevented a lack of available work, leading to absolute poverty, although it can lead to relative poverty. And 3. Insufficient agricultural advancement. Part of the cause of absolute poverty is only a lack of progress in agriculture. Since agriculture progress, the food becomes more. It means that there is more than enough food to be shared. A country that is not able to meet its own food needs will face a larger level of absolute poverty. And 4. There is a conflict area, where has historically become one of the main causes of absolute poverty. It destroys capital, commerce, investment, and supply chains. Even in a small scale, conflict in Africa will lead to looting and destruction. For example, natural resources are depleted and become unrecoverable because the rights are misused or does not exist. And 5. Lack of education. Science and knowledge. Lack of education has been shown to correlate with lower absolute poverty rates. A low-educated nation cannot read or write, so that communication is much more difficult, even in developing countries such as India. The need to read and write can also be a difference between absolute poverty or a comfortable life. And 6. The lack of infrastructure. Poor road condition. Land are separated from waters because of the absence of brakes, the lack of information due to limited internet connection, the lack of public transportation, and so on. This thing will certainly interfere with economic activity. The condition can reduce the ability to compete with other rivals. The lack can lower competitiveness and lead to poverty. And 7. Mental health. Mental health problems are significant cause of absolute poverty in both developed countries and developing countries. This may have an impact on a person's ability to work with a variety of
Alright, the next part will be passion on the me. Example of absolute poverty. 1. Famine. The example of absolute poverty is that when individuals or families do not have enough food to meet daily nutritional needs. This can result in malnutrition, lack of energy, and various other health problems. 2. Clean weather. Certainly, individuals live in absolute poverty do not have access to clean water that is safe to drink and use in everyday life. 3. Improper housing. Many individuals or families live in absolute poverty, stay in unworthy environment such as slumber settlement, safe air inadequate, or temporary shelter. 4. Limited access to health service. Absolute poverty often results in limited access to quality health service. Individuals or families may not be able to pay health fees or live in remote areas without adequate health facilities. 5. South Sudan has one of the highest absolute poverty rates in the world, about 80%. The reason is the continuous war that this nation faces